Barbed Wire Episode 3. Okay, and welcome to Sneeky Radio. One of the most daunting tasks in writing this work was analyzing heavy metal not simply from the fan's perspective or to explain which band rock and which ones does not. But to also conceptualize the movement in terms of academic theory about music as a subculture and one that has grown in the encompass of a legion of a smaller subject and a subculture which subcultures. So it is clear that there is a distinct heavy metal audience, one with its own ritual and signifiers of meaning, and that to understand that heavy metal, one must understand the metal audience. So the heavy metal audience is one of the main questions to examine studying heavy metal. Is not only what musician creates while playing metal, but also how the audience engage with the music and what is the meaning they create from the music. So Pierre Bourdieu, in his book Distinctions, argue that the common sense of meaning and sometimes values are shared by audience with what can be called the cultural or subcultural capital. An example for this was a painted back of the denim jacket in the late 70s and the early 80s with the recreation of the Iron Maiden, the Number of the Beast album cover. So this would indicate to other fans not just an aesthetic approval of the content of the album, but also a shared kinship and value system based on mutuality shared taste. So liking from Iron Maiden enough to have an album cover painted on your jacket means not only a shared enthusiasm for the band, but also a shared of alliance to the idea of heavy metal as a subculture which shares values and meaning. So to metal fans, heavy metal is not just a genre of music to listen to. It is also akin to way of life, one that provides a sense of belonging and meaning. So furthermore, engaging the music from the perspective of one of the metal subgenres such as the black metal or death metal is further from a self-expression in which one indicates that taste has become a dividing line even to some other in the metal community. So as Manowar argue, the song Black Arrows let each note I know play be a black metal bands dislike the commercialization of metals, and many were angered by the proliferation of what they considered to be the false metal, in which band use pop hooks to sell their music, as opposed to either super virtuosity of adherence to what would be considered the less commercial and to its more pure metal values. So according to Seb Hunter, heavy metal is essentially a club, a gang with an alliance to a musical and a social set of values. So it might be frowned upon by society by large, but something that bind metal even more tightly. Some critics make assumption about the insular nature of the metal audience or criticize its apparent lack of diversity, its prosperity for homophobia, or its misogyny. Certain aspects of the criticism are accurate. Unlike the other genres such as the dance music, there are a few minorities members of the metal scene, a few female bands, and a few openly gay members of the scene. So misogyny is a certain problem in the scenes, and the homophobia, especially in the black and death metal scene. It has led to several high-profile murders, but to assume that this is true of all aspects of the metal scene is reductionist at best. To many metal fans, this is the true of all aspects of the metal scenes is reductionist at best. So the true definition of which constitute of metal fan is not so much about what metal exclude, but what is include. So especially on the technical level, what kind of metal one listen to, true or a false metal. So the problem with this is not the set of definition what heavy metal is or what can be considered true metal. While metal fans are obsessed with the idea of authenticity, the definition vary widely among them. So because of the difficulties that are associated with any means of definitions, subcultures, many even within the metal community disagree, often quietly, angrily, in what actually metals and what is not, even by using the technical terms or defining metal based on the arbiter of true metal. An example of the bands such as The Who clearly possess a guitarist skilled enough to be accepted by metal fans, but for some qualities, either tangible or intangible, are not considered metal by the fans of heavy metal. So even ones who are also fans of The Who. So okay, this is episode 3. I will be catching you again on my next episode, The Barbed Wire by SNEEKY Radio, powered by Sneaky Punk. Thank you.